Hey everyone, welcome to Ferndale, Michigan on a lovely Memorial Day 2023. I wanted to do a knife video because I have been consuming knife videos on YouTube for literally years now, and I thought it would be good to do that. And I'm kind of trying to be quiet because it's still early, and I have neighbors in my apartment building, which is right there. You can't see it. In my old life, back in another state, I decided that I needed to have a knife when I went hiking. Um, and so this was just a few years ago. I'm not talking about like my teenage years. This was just like a little while ago, 2020 or so. So it's a Bear Grylls, it's a Gerber Bear Grylls paracord knife. And I can't really tell you what I liked about it at the time. I know that I really, really dug it, and I had to have it. And it was $20. It was $20, and I put it through its paces and really knocked the shit out of it. I ended up giving it to a friend, and when he took it to get sharpened, the guy really needed to take it down quite a bit, and you can see a difference in the blade of that one versus this one. So, you ever give a knife away and you're like, I just gave away a knife, and you run out and buy the same knife? Hopefully you've never had that experience, but that's what happened with this one. I was like, whoa, I need that back now. And so I bought another one, and then I rewrapped the handle. Anyway, so that was that. Back in that former life, watching a lot of knife videos, I came across people raving about these fugly little kitchen knives. I mean, to an American who's used to like American style knives, this looks like dollar store kitchen knives that you go to college with because you know it's going to get lost, broken, or flushed down the toilet. So I was like, ugh. Well, I went out and bought one. I spent the $17, and it was the first time that I used a Scandinavian grind, and holy moly, um, I had carved feather sticks before. Now, we called them fuzz sticks, and they were kind of a coarse thing. They weren't these fine, hairy things. They were coarse and not as much tinder as it was kindling. But when I got this, my fuzz sticks became a lot fuzzier and the strands a lot finer. So, um, so I always packed these two. Um, well, then came some life changes. I moved, and I became free to collect as many knives as I wanted, which depended on the day. You know, if I was busy, I wasn't really thinking about knives, but knives was always something I went back to when I was like, and had an idle moment. And in these idle moments, certain knives will take on an importance that may be outsized to their actual importance in the grand scheme of things. This is one of them. This is the Russell Green River. It's been in continuous production. Now listen to me here. It's been in continuous production since the 1830s. All right, I got this through a kitchen supply place. This was not like Bushcraft Central. Sorry if that's a real thing. I don't know, but it was a kitchen supply, and I'm like, well, that can't be the same knife. Well, it was. It came without a sheath, so I had a problem in not, cutting myself. So I quickly whipped up this. All right, hold on. Just hear me out here. Quickly whipped up this duct tape and cardboard affair. Um, it's got a wad of saran wrap down on the tip to absorb that pointy point. And then the whole thing slides into, so you're not embarrassed, slides into this canvas sheath, and there's absolutely no retention whatsoever. So you best remain upright. Best remain upright. The next thing I came across that I absolutely had to have. Sorry, there's bugs all over. It's the Rogan pry bar. Now, why did I have to have this? I saw a video of Melissa Miller opening a can of beans for some hobo stew, and she was brandishing one of these. And I found it a very convincing video. It sold me on the pry bar, and so I ordered one immediately. The first time I tried to open a can of something, I got a face full of it. So maybe it was on the second stab I got the face full. So she has a special technique, I guess. It's not sharp. And it's not that great for batoning. I mean, it says, the whole idea was use this to baton, don't destroy your knife. So, living in the city, I bought some cordwood at the gas station and took it out on the driveway and started batoning with this, and found that it was good for getting some initial gaps. But what I like is not beating the shit out of your knife. It's getting a few wedges. Using your knife to baton out a couple wedges and then carve them up. The wooden wedge. And the knife's just sitting there, not getting beaten on. So I encourage everybody to try wooden wedges. And then, because it was floating around with no sheath, I made this one out of scrap leather, and there's blood on it. Sometimes this can be used as a strop, and sometimes I forget. Another heritage knife. This one is the Old Hickory fish and small game knife, and it is about as homely a knife as you could ever want, but gosh darn, it is sharp and very, very functional. A very thin blade, so don't go whacking this into any oak trees. But it's also a full flat grind, so you're not going to get quite the same effect that you would going with your Mora Companion. But nevertheless, a lovely knife, and it's not used as much. But for a while I was carrying this. And I mean, you want to talk about a broom handle? There's your broom handle, sir. There's your broom handle. Hold on. Then I found haltifers. Yeah, it's backwards, but anyway, found this and started reading about it and bought the OK4. That's Outdoor Knife number 4, and same performance as the Mora Companion. There was a secondary bevel, I think a micro bevel on it, I think. Anyway, but I like the handle a lot better, and I like the thickness of the steel a lot better. This is, what is it, SK5 steel, I think. I don't know. It's mid. It's Japanese SK5, made in Taiwan. But dang, this was an awesome knife, and I carry it with. This is my main knife. It's got a big loop for a ferro rod, and of course, I had to get like a really large ferro rod. Let's start some fires here at the picnic table. Maybe that is why my phone has these scorch marks on it. And I thought that was tree sap. Okay, well, anyway. So don't throw sparks at your phone. That was pretty stupid. So yeah, that just goes back in here, and it's I don't really worry about it coming out because it's oversized and it's kind of actually straining that elastic a little bit. But Haltifors with this knife did something with this loop, and when I show you the others, you'll be like, yeah, that's way better. Because let's take this one, the Grossneef. It's just this thing that goes over your belt, your thin little belt, and then it snaps into place, or you hope it does, and then you wear it that way and you can pop it off. It's nobody likes it. So when they did this, people were much happier. So yeah, it's getting very knifey here on the table. Well, while we're talking about them, let's talk about the Haltifors GK, the Grossneef. This thing is a tank of a knife. I don't know how thick it is. It's really thick. It's got a really big handle, and the tang goes back to here somewhere. They tell you to baton with it all you want. Again, I used this to open up cracks in a piece of wood, and then I used wedges to split it. I mean, splitting gas station wood is kind of a hobby. It's just kind of fun. I don't do it here. I have too many neighbors. But this is the Crud knife. I mean, just look at that. It's huge. I have a decent sized hands, and this is left over, which is good because sometimes your fingers spread out for more leverage, and you're not always having a nice little grip. So I find this to be really cool. You can baton with it, as I said, and I have whacked it a few times. Whacked my finger in the process just yesterday. Son of a bitch, that hurt. It's getting really knifey here. All right, you go there. You go here. Decided I had to have this Mora 1.0, and it was a special or something. It was $22 on Amazon, and so I just went to the Zon and bought it. And this is the nicest little carving knife. This is one of those little, but this is not a big. This is a precision knife, so you do want to have that little that tight grip. And they've been making these for over 100 years. Well, different makers have been making them for over 100 years, but I guess they all kind of consolidated down into one company. So yeah, this is carbon steel, and I need to take better care of it. Anyway, I really love this little guy, and I think that if you were carrying the classic Nessmuck setup, where you had the hatchet or the axe, double blade axe, the fine and the splitting, a fixed blade, and a pocket knife, I think this could be your fixed blade. Provided you weren't doing a ton of skinning, I think. I don't know, they probably did skin with these things, but if you were living that lifestyle but eating freeze-dried foods, so all you really needed to do was woodcraft around the campfire. Well, whatever. Okay, so the little knives, that little knife got me thinking, hey, I wonder if Haltifers has a precision little knife, and they do. But the Haltifers line is more geared to the craftsmen, and when I say craftsmen, it's like the plumbers and drywallers and those guys. And so this is really a construction trades knife. Um, Haltifers is a tool company. They're not a knife company. They're a tool company. So the knives that they make are, geared toward the trades. This is one of them. I got it for carving, and I wanted to put it up against the Mora 1.0. I did. I enjoyed it. I found the Mora to be a little bit easier to use. I think the angle of the grind, and don't ask me about the angle. How long have I been going on? 16 minutes. Boy, congratulations if you're still watching. You are some kind of super trooper. Or glutton for punishment. Okay, problem with this chunky finger guard. It makes it so that you can't do like horizontal type stuff. Like if you wanted to, get something, scrape something like that, you can't. You can't, because let's say something off the floor or a wall, this gets in the way. But if you're cutting and doing this type of stuff, I imagine it's great. I've done some tri-sticks. I don't have any out here with me. I don't know. I was really happy with all of my knives, and I thought I didn't need anything else. And I don't need nothing, nobody, just me, my knives. But that's not true. I needed another knife. This is the Mora 546, maybe? Yeah, look how orange that is, and the light, all this green around this. This came just the other day, and I like it. It's super thin. It's super cheap. It's the basic stainless. It's the stainless version of the 511. So it's good. Very thin. I hate the word. It slices well. I don't like to say slicey. Something about that word. Grates, but that's my thing. I don't mean to bring that into our video here, but yeah, extremely good in the slicing department. And I did some tri-stick stuff with this yesterday at Camp No Friends, which is my weekend day camp for middle-aged men. And it was awesome. Did the well, I don't have it here. Okay, so, and now this is a knife that I have to I don't know where it's going and what it's doing. My brother gave it to me, and first of all, I really like it. I really like it. It's not my style, and it's not my style, but man, you get this in your hand. So I thought, awesome, I'll just use it in the kitchen. It's a cleaver. Well, the flat blade, it's not ideal as a cleaver. Then I started trying to figure out who made it. And so there's a little tiny logo down here, which I had to take a picture of on high resolution and then blow up. It's a small logo, and it's not done well. But as far as I can tell, and I think I got it, it says FBIQQ with laurel leaves around it. So I went online and looked around for it, and I found it mentioned in a couple knife forums, and I found it. I found other knives that they make. Um, it's a quality blade. It is a heavy piece of D2. I found that out. It's D2. So, it's a good knife. I just have not found a use yet. I got closer to it by putting this little bit of heritage paracord. That's the paracord that you keep around for years because you're going to find a use for it one day. Well, God bless it. Here it is. So it goes around the little finger for chopping. Chopping. So I've had some opera. Well, what do you know? Here's a thing right here. Oh, that's way too loud. That's way too loud. I'm sorry. Real quality sheath, and it's set up for scout carry. Back here. So you're I'm not a scout carry person. I kind of forget it's back there, and then I'll just sit down on it, or worse. So, because that happened one time that I did scout carry, but whatever. Those are all the knives I wanted to talk to you about. And if you have made it to the end of this video, I guess I would have to say thank you.